News Channel 3 starts off with breaking news right now.
And there are two big breaking news stories that we are following right now. Former First Lady Barbara Bush has died at the age of 92. News Channel 3 will have much more on this story in a minute. But first, we have confirmed a Portage woman has been arrested tonight for the murder of her mother. Susan Kubitschek is behind bars in the Kalamazoo County Jail right now. And Kubitschek's brother says that their mom's death was no accident.
Our Anna Giles is live outside the Kalamazoo County Jail tonight to tell us what he believes his sister did. Anna.
Well, Andy and Kate, what we're learning from Susan Kubitschek's brother is that this murder charge was expected. He claims Susan intentionally overdosed their mother on painkillers, leading to her death in May last year. Police say Susan Kubitschek turned herself in at the Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Office earlier today on a charge of second-degree murder related to the death of her mother, 87-year-old Dorothy Allen, last year. Kubitschek's brother, Steve Salick, telling News Channel 3 Susan was caring for their ailing mother for months before she intentionally overdosed her on pain medication.
She did something she shouldn't have done, but she let people know what she was doing.
Salick says those other people were fellow nurses helping Susan care for her mother, who was suffering.
She had had a thyroid removed. She had had 35 radiation treatments, and it burned her from her nose to the top of her chest.
He says a medical examiner ruled his mother's death an intentional overdose last year, but police only just issued a warrant for Susan's arrest late last week. Salick believes his sister had motivation to do this.
It's going to be one of two reasons. They're either going to go for compassion or some other illegal stuff that Sue had already done.
Salick believes his sister deserves this murder charge.
You made your bed, now you're going to sleep in it, and that's all I can say.
The Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Office did confirm to us that this case involves an intentional overdose, but they couldn't say much more tonight. We are scheduled to meet with them in the morning and are hoping to learn more details. For now, live in Kalamazoo, Anna Giles, News Channel 3.
Known as the matriarch of a political dynasty, former First Lady Barbara Bush has passed away at the age of 92. Bush's health had been declining, and her family announced this weekend that she wouldn't seek further medical treatment. She spent much of her time as First Lady pushing for better literacy in America.
If more people could read, write, and comprehend, we would be that much closer to solving so many of the problems that plague our nation.
Barbara Bush was, of course, not only a former president's wife, but also a former president's mother. Condolences for her family are pouring in from all over the world tonight.
Ryan Wolf shows us how family, friends, and colleagues are remembering Barbara Bush's life and legacy.
Tenacious, class act, a national treasure. America is remembering former First Lady Barbara Bush, who passed away at age 92, and rallying behind the family she leaves behind. Her son and 43rd President George W. Bush put out this statement reading in part, quote, "Laura, Barbara, Jen, and I are sad, but our souls are settled because we know hers was," end quote. The matriarch and patriot set an example for people with her grace, passion, and dedication to public service. President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump saying, quote, "She will be long remembered for her strong devotion to country and family, both of which she served unfailingly well," end quote. Former President Barack Obama says he and Michelle will never forget the generosity she showed them throughout their time in the White House, adding in a statement, quote, "But we're even more grateful for the way she lived her life as a testament to the fact that public service is an important and noble calling, as an example of the humility and decency that reflects the very best of the American spirit," end quote. Former President Bill Clinton and Secretary Clinton are also thanking her for showing them what an honest, vibrant, full life looks like. Quote, "She was fierce and feisty in support of her family and friends, her country, and her causes," end quote. House Speaker Paul Ryan says simply, quote, "Barbara Bush holds a revered place in the hearts of generations of Americans," end quote. Barbara Bush, a life and legacy that won't soon be forgotten.
And Congressman Fred Upton issued this statement about Barbara Bush's passing to News Channel 3 earlier tonight. He says, quote, "Barbara Bush was the epitome of class and as genuine as they come. She always thought of others first and was always kind and was always quick with a joke and a smile. She led a life of service to her country and will be missed greatly. Well, Barbara Bush did visit West Michigan a number of times in the last 15 years. In 2005, she delivered a speech at Albion College where she was awarded an honorary doctorate for her work in literacy. She also paid her respects at President Ford's funeral back in 2007. And more recently, she was in Grand Rapids for a First Ladies event in 2013, praising Betty Ford's dedication to West Michigan.
She was a great First Lady, as Laura says, but she was a great friend. And I think your mother probably has saved more lives with the Betty Ford Foundation, and I hope she gets great pleasure from the fact that she has changed the world, not only in breast cancer, but...
Well, so far, funeral arrangements for First Lady Barbara Bush have not been announced. Stay with News Channel 3 all week for continuing coverage.
Americans are getting an extra day to file their taxes. The IRS says it will extend the filing deadline until midnight tomorrow because of a glitch that brought down its website today. The IRS says its computers were simply overwhelmed by the number of people trying to log in today. And for those who still haven't filed, you won't have to fill out any extra paperwork to get the extension. All
right, looking live over downtown Battle Creek. That freezing cold will not let go, and we are not done with those April snow showers either. Here's Chief Meteorologist Keith Thompson watching it all for us in Severe Weather Center 3. Keith.
Oh, you're right, Andy. We are in about 24 hours looking at some more snow. However, the good news is that tomorrow morning your commute should be dry, and what a change that is over this morning, and what an improvement as well. It's quiet on live Doppler radar right now on our 100-mile scan. As you can see, there's nothing happening here, and that will be the case for us overnight as skies gradually clear. 32 right now in Kalamazoo and also in Battle Creek and Sturgis, Coldwater. A little colder than that in Hastings and Marshall, and a little warmer in Allegan, Grand Rapids, and South Haven, but all around West Michigan. It's a pretty narrow range of temperatures. Our overnight fastcast just plain cold, and our skies are going to gradually clear. We're going to be at around 28 degrees by 5 o'clock in the morning. Very cold at the bus stop again tomorrow morning. Under partly cloudy skies, we'll see that temperature right at about 26 degrees. More snow is on the way, but by the weekend, we will be basking in some warmer sunshine. I'll have more on both coming up, Andy.
All right, Keith, thank you. We are learning new information now about a woman hit by a car while trying to help crash victims on an icy road. Family members say that Melissa Bigelow underwent surgery today and is recovering well tonight. Deputies say that Bigelow stopped this morning to help people whose car had flipped over on icy 12th Street. That's when another driver lost control and hit her. She did suffer serious injuries. Her co-worker and friend, Joel Chapman, says he was not surprised to hear about her heroics.
That's the thing, that's her. That's just her, you know. I mean, she worked in safety. She was there to make sure that everybody was okay. I just wanted to say that was very heroic what she did. And I mean, her family and all our co-workers should definitely be very proud.
Deputies say that the driver who hit Bigelow is cooperating. Icy roads caused a number of crashes in that very same area this morning.
Now, this is all that's left of a Calhoun County billboard that once called the National Rifle Association a terrorist organization. The Mad Dog Political Action Committee says it learned the billboard had been destroyed just one day after News Channel 3 aired our first story about it. This is what the billboard along I-94 just east of Battle Creek looked like before it was destroyed. Mad Dog founder Claude Taylor says a number of them are up around the country. He says he intended to provoke a conversation with the billboard, but the destruction is sad to see.
Obviously, they value their Second Amendment more than they do other people's First Amendment. So that's pretty pathetic. It's also, I mean, they're criminals. They engaged in destruction of private property.
Taylor says a police report is being filed. He tells us they plan to put their message back up again, but this time on a digital billboard.
New tonight, rifles pulled from the racks at Dick's Sporting Goods will be destroyed. Dick's decided to stop selling assault-style rifles 2 weeks after the high school shooting in Parkland, Florida. The store also raised the age limit to buy any gun from 18 to 21 years old. The sporting goods chain is facing multiple lawsuits for that second policy change, and that does include one from a Battle Creek teenager.
And detectives say they've stopped enough drugs to kill more than 250,000 people from getting onto the streets. The 3-state drug operation involved West Virginia, Michigan, and Ohio. Raids conducted this morning led to more than 100 arrests in Huntington, West Virginia alone. Police also arrested Willie Peterson, a Detroit man who they say was pushing the painkiller fentanyl to other drug dealers in our state.
Because it's an ongoing operation, we don't want to go into too much detail of this. I can tell you, though, that Willie Peterson, sort of the leader of this organization out of Detroit, and we're real pleased that we were able to pick him up this morning, and one of his associates in Detroit. That was almost a pipeline that went straight from Detroit to this city.
U.S. Attorney Michael Stewart says he expects more arrests will be made in Detroit as a result of today's raids. Coming up, local police and firefighters are answering the call to help others in a much different way. Plus, bonded through war, then suddenly separated, the lengths one soldier is going to be reunited with his bomb-sniffing partner.
Another wintry mix on the way for us here in West Michigan. Coming up, I'll tell you when it arrives.
Welcome back. If you could save someone's life, would you do it? Today, dozens of potential donors answered yes to that question at a bone marrow drive in Kalamazoo. The Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety is no stranger to helping strangers, and today they invited you to join them.
If you're 18 to 44, we want to get you signed up. We want to get you on the registry, and we want to make sure we have committed donors. The department partnered with Be the Match for the first bone marrow drive it's hosted in 10 years. Volunteers had their cheeks swabbed and were entered in the bone marrow registry, where people diagnosed with blood cancers are desperately waiting for transplants. Caucasians have a 93% chance of finding a match. Now that number drastically changes when you're looking at any other ethnicity. Only 66% of African Americans are able to find a match, so it just depends. We are trying to grow the registry so that way everyone has a match. Public Safety Officer Jennifer Higbee knows firsthand that potential donors do get callbacks.
They called in January and said, you've been matched with a 2-year-old child with leukemia. And it was very emotional, to say the least. She asked if I'd still be interested in donating, and I said, of course, whatever I can do. Chief Carrie Ann Thomas also has a personal connection to the cause. Her mother died from leukemia.
This is what we're in the business to do, to try to help and try to serve and get as many people in the community involved. And this was just one more example, of how we can help people help other people.
Marrow transplants can provide a cure for more than 70 different diseases, including leukemia, lymphoma, and sickle cell anemia. But the process begins here at drives like these, one cheek swab at a time. Be the Match manages the largest bone marrow donor registry in the world, which includes more than 13 million volunteers. We've linked you to more information on our website at WWMT.com.
Great to see that, Kate. Thanks. A former soldier who had to say goodbye to his military dog years ago is now trying to get his partner back.
With bullets flying and mortars and rockets and bombs and everything else, and at the end of the day, I had her and she had me, and that was it.
Joseph Steenbeck last saw his bomb-sniffing dog, Tess, 5 years ago. The two were inseparable during their deployment in Afghanistan. Steenbeck even has Tess's ID number tattooed on his arm. Well, when it was time to go home to northern Indiana, Tess couldn't go with him.
I just remember walking around thinking like it wasn't real. And just loving up on her as best I could for 5 minutes. And then handed the leash off, and it was the last time I saw her. It feels like I'm not whole because I don't have her around to lean on, and she doesn't have me to lean on.
Steenbeck and his wife have reached out to Indiana lawmakers to help reunite them with Tess. They've also started a Facebook page called Reunite Joe and Tess to drum up outside support. We hope they find each other.
Well, the weather in West Michigan is going to continue to be rather chilly tomorrow morning, but I'm tracking some sunshine that will be peeking out tomorrow. Unfortunately, it won't be lasting long because we have some more clouds that will be moving in later on in the day. And by tomorrow afternoon late, we'll likely have some rain that will then transition into some more snow. Here's how it breaks down in your Wednesday Fastcast, our three-part thumbnail here. Again, morning sunshine. I think at noon we'll still see some sun at about 39. By late in the day, that's when we'll start to see the showers move in. But even then, we'll be warmer than we were today by about 10 degrees. So that's a step in the right direction. Let's go hour by hour. You'll see that sunshine tomorrow morning. Let's run our clock up to noon. Again, still plenty of sun as we're in the low 40s. But then by late in the afternoon, that's when the clouds start moving in, and also a few showers will be arriving as well. Notice they'll be passing through by this time tomorrow night. And then by midnight tomorrow night, we'll start to see some scattered snow showers. Now, our latest model run is not showing the snow nearly as impressive as it did earlier this evening, so that certainly is a good sign. It looks to be scooting out of here by Thursday morning's commute. Hopefully it won't leave behind too much of a mess on the roads, and in fact we'll be looking at lots of sunshine once we get into Thursday afternoon. Let's take a live look right now. Skies are still predominantly cloudy in Kalamazoo. That cloud cover just hanging tough. 32 degrees right now with the wind chill at 26 thanks to a west-northwest breeze at 6. It's all quiet on live Doppler radar. And again, good news for the morning commute tomorrow. Our radar will be quiet, and so the road conditions, in contrast to what we had this morning when they were, of course, very slick, tomorrow morning they should be A-OK. Temperatures in the low 30s. We even have a couple of upper 20s, or at least one anyway, at Niles at 28. Right at 30 right now in Dowagiac, still right at freezing in Kalamazoo, Three Rivers, Coldwater, Battle Creek, and a little colder than that in Hastings and Sturgis, Allegan and Grand Rapids, each at 33 degrees. Storm tracker, we put it to work, and you can see our skies. Still lots of clouds out there, but it's sort of even hard to make out this gray shading here with the low clouds. I think that will be breaking up for us overnight. And as a result, we'll see some clearing skies gradually taking hold with an overnight low right around 26 degrees. Cold for this time of year. For tomorrow, morning sunshine, then some afternoon rain building in, as I showed you on the hour by hour. We'll see a high of 46. Here's your 7-day forecast. A little cooler on Thursday. We finally start to warm up a little on Friday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, looking at lots of sunshine and warming up too. Looks like we'll make a run into the 60s by early next week. So we just have to get through, you know, the next couple of days, and then our weather really starts to improve.
Well, it won't take much to improve from last weekend.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
It was just, we couldn't do anything last weekend.
But this Saturday, Sunday will be a 180.
It'll feel like late April.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll like it. Thanks, Keith.
All right, coming up, what exotic ingredient some daredevils at a burger joint are adding to their food, and why they say it's surprisingly delicious. Welcome back to News Channel 3 Live at 11 on this Tuesday night. I'm Andy Dominiani.
And I'm Kate Tillotson. A North Carolina woman eats her fear, digging into a burger topped with an oven-roasted tarantula.
But it's very crunchy. Legs were very dry, but it tasted really good. Like, I would eat it again. It reminded me of potato chips.
Potato chips?
Ew. Tarantulas are this year's choice for Exotic Meat Month at Bull City Burger and Brewery in Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah, the restaurant's owner says he got the idea in Cambodia and only gets about 15 tarantulas a year, so he holds a lottery to see who will be the lucky ones to try it. He says he got the idea after reading about just how popular they are in Cambodia.
We introduced the tarantula. I was reading about how in Cambodia, folks will eat tarantulas there when the rain season comes. They come out of their burrows. They mix them with salt and sugar, and then they cook them on the streets, and it's a street food. And I thought this would be a great way to really teach about diversity.
Would you do that?
It's a trending delicacy.
Would you eat that? I don't think I would do it.
Not.
No. In the last 6 years, though, that very same restaurant in Durham has also featured iguana, alligator, camel, python, turtle, and various bugs for Exotic Food Month.
Oh my gosh. Brave eaters there in North Carolina.
So.
The Tigers snapping their 5-game losing streak tonight at Comerica. Andy Pepper has highlights next in sports.
15 years ago today, Michael Jordan played his last NBA game. 18 years ago today, the New England Patriots used the 199th pick of the NFL draft on Tom Brady. And on this day in 1976, Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt hit 4 consecutive homers, which, oh, by the way, is 1 less homer than the entire 2018 Tigers. Detroit rained out all weekend at Comerica, back on the field tonight against the Orioles. There were a few good seats available. Bottom 2, Victor Martinez with the big fly, his first long ball of the season. Victor, 3 for 4, couple of ribbies, now batting .310 on the year. Francisco Liriano on the bump, and Liriano allowing a solo shot right here to Trey Mancini in the third, but the lefty settling down, going 5 innings, allowing 5 hits, 2 earned on the way to his second win of the season. Here's your big blow, tied at 2 in the 5th. Jeimer Candelario driving one to the wall in right center field. Leonis Martin going to race home. Candelario 2 for 4 with a triple. Detroit then adding an insurance run in the 8th. Victor Reyes racing home on the 59-footer. Tigers off the schneid as they end their 5-game losing streak, 4-2 that final. To the college game, today's WMU Oakland game at Himes Field canceled because we live in Michigan and we aren't allowed to have nice things in April. The good news is that tomorrow's game against Michigan State, cross your fingers, is still on. The Broncos moving first pitch up an hour to 2 o'clock in hopes of beating the forecasted early evening rain. Western, you may remember, played MSU last month in East Lansing. Billy Gernon's Broncos cruising to a 6-1 win over the Spartans.
Beating a Big Ten team is a big deal. Say what you want. Beating them twice in the same season is even a bigger deal. I think it happened my first year against Jake after I had left his program and come here, and if we did, obviously great for our program and another notch in our belt, no doubt.
It'll be huge for our program. You know, any Big Ten win or any really win for our program is, you know, looking for us to kind of catapult in the right direction for the following games.
Mo Wagner speaking to the media today about his decision to leave school early for the NBA. This despite the fact Wagner is projected to be an early to mid-second round draft pick, but for Wagner, turning pro wasn't about becoming a first rounder. It was about having a chance to play against the very best players in the world.
It's always been the dream, you know, it's always been like the big question. It's still there. I mean, only declaring for the draft doesn't mean anything. I think there's so much work to do for me in the next couple of months. So yeah, I'm going to attack this project like I always do with everything I have, and we see how it ends up. But yeah, I'm very excited about the next couple months.
News Channel 3 continues right after this. Well, tomorrow we'll start with some sunshine. We end the day with a little bit of rain, a high of 46. Tomorrow night, a little rain-snow mix. And then we set sail for some better weather starting Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm taking full credit for every day.
What's that 6-letter word, spring?
Yeah,
Is that what that says?
It should be here one of these days.
I love it.